Was that nice, almost, to just watch Arsenal play so badly?
It's probably like how they play every week.
What would have been nice
boring.
is Conor Bradley's shot going top bins. That would have been nice. But
that would have been nice.
Yeah. However, I mean, I feel like Ken should really talk on it first. Her dead team.
Yeah. You've had about 20 hours or so now to kind of think about it. You slept on the result and everything.
Just about.
You still fuming?
I slept for about 90 minutes as well, so I've got a full night.
Good night's sleep.
Yeah, full night's sleep. Very frustrating. Like, I think it's one of them ones where, we went into the game obviously very confident, which I think we deserve to be anyways. We've been playing really well. And I think at the Emirates, look, we're still unbeaten there, but, it's the second draw at the Emirates. I mean, in hindsight, I guess that's not a bad result, but it's still one of them ones where it just feels like a missed opportunity. Like, we're talking about a Liverpool team that aren't good. Like, let's be real. Like, I know they haven't lost games, but they just keep drawing. They're not good. Like, even Arne Slot said after the game, he was like, I don't understand why, like, fans or people are saying that we played well. We didn't even have a shot at goal.
Arne Slot was fuming.
Yeah, he was actually he was upset with how Liverpool performed. And I think that just goes to show we actually stooped to their level. We didn't do what we should have done, which is actually like, we're not going to stoop to a level. Game. We should have played our own game like we've done against, Spurs, against Bayern, against Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? We stooped to that level. And just, it's one of them nights where, like, I said to Abby, other than William Saliba, everyone was really poor. Like, even Declan Rice, I've been saying it, Declan Rice is one of the best players in the world right now. To me, he's world class, but that wasn't the best Declan Rice last night. Like, that wasn't the best Raya or a Timber or even a Saka or a Trossard last night who've been blowing away teams. So, yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment because, I could be sat here saying, we're 8 points clear, and that would be a massive different scenario. But I'm sat here saying we're 6 points clear, which is still a positive, but it's just more of like, it could have been more considering this is like the third game week now where basically Aston Villa and City have dropped points and we didn't really just capitalise on it again. So it was a bit frustrating.
Do you think, though, you just mentioned teams like Spurs or teams like Bayern, etc. In all honesty, I've said to you the whole time, you'll never have an easier game than you did against Tottenham, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And like Bayern didn't play the same way that Liverpool played last night. That first half, I felt they really frustrated you. Yeah. Like, I felt they really went to, like, just low block the whole entire situation. I can't remember Liverpool have ever been...
They came afraid, almost, honestly.
So when teams play like that against you, it frustrates you. And I think it's sometimes different when you're playing slightly less opposition than Liverpool, despite the form. Like, obviously, they're still they've got great players.
Yeah.
So it's a higher quality to try and break down. And I think second half... I mean, from an Arsenal perspective, it was just kind of like, just make sure you don't lose the game rather than actually win it. I think your shot in the second half only come in like the
I can't even remember it. Yeah,
like
it was
that was
so
your
bad.
first shot in the second half.
Yeah,
which is again, it kind of flipped. Like Liverpool opened up a lot more in that second half.
Yeah, they
but
did.
First half, it was like you really struggled to break down that low block. Which
so Arsenal had 3 shots in added time, and they were 3 shots of the second half, and one of them was Gabriel's miss from about 2 yards.
Yeah,
where he should have flipping scored.
Yeah, he should have scored that.
Considering you face a low block most weeks with lesser opposition that eventually do, I guess, get worn down.
Yeah.
You really struggled against that, which is something I didn't think you would. I thought you would have the quality to break down. But I did say to Christine yesterday, because a lot of your, not you, but a lot of your fans' predictions for last night were, again, getting way too ahead of yourself. Like,
but I hear it,
said 4-1. I've heard 3-1s.
I'm not really against it, though.
No, and I get the confidence. But I feel like this is when, historically, when Arsenal fans have been super, super confident, it usually backfires. Like, this is
I hear what you're saying.
The humbleness.
True,
but come into it.
Yeah, but also as well, Liverpool fans, like, so we had obviously, AGT was on live at 5 on yesterday before the show, but and then also his mates were here as well.
Yeah, shout out Greg.
Yeah, shout out to like Greg Doyle. And
Greg told me we're getting smoked.
He had the whole.
He had everyone. He had all the Scousers in all sizes.
His whole Scouser gang, and they were all going like behind the scenes. They were all just like, yeah, no, this is done. It's raining. I saw Doyle downstairs. Could not see a more depressed man before kickoff. He was like, "It's raining. I'm cold. I'm wet. I've got to go to the Emirates, and we're gonna get done in, and I've got to go home."
In the words of Ty, we mustn't forget.
Guys, my shoes are still wet.
Didn't Robbie say that after the game to do with the tifo? No, but apparently so. AGT tweeted out being like, "Yeah." So I asked Robbie after the game where the tifo went, and Robbie went, "You got to remember it's been raining."
We
did have like a little fan display, so like we held up all the they had. We usually do fireworks.
Things where you like hold the things up
we hold the things up. Like
I don't get why Arsenal picked this game of all games to like hype up massively.
They don't.
But
us as well.
I think it just big games at home. Like the thing is as well. Like obviously we lost at Anfield, which is like the first time in a while that Liverpool had beaten us. But it was kind of a bit of, not a shock result, but it was one of them ones where actually I do think a draw would have been fair in that game. It was just two teams that were very, I think two teams were just very evenly matched.
One of the games where it's decided by a moment of magic.
Yeah, and it was decided by it was decided by a
reverse fixture. Really.
Yeah. It was decided by a moment of greatness from Szoboszlai, but other than that, there was really nothing in it. So I think, you know, the fans especially were like, yo, this is a moment to put out a statement. But obviously the players didn't put out a statement. So that's what I was saying last night. I was like, you can't say to fans, come out, support us, sing, and, you know, and that's what you put out. Like, that's where I was frustrated because, you know, fans actually turned up in big numbers. There was so much energy around the game. Like, even at times, we were in the 70th minute and stuff, we were frustrated, but we were still singing, still saying, you know, chanting Arsenal's name and stuff like that. And I just look at the players like, you really let us down, to be honest. I know a lot of people talk about the manager, but in my personal opinion, he set up the team correctly. He set up the most perfect team that we had available. That's probably our strongest team at the moment. You have basically all of your starters in the team. Yeah. And then on top of that, he made all of the perfect substitutions. So
didn't wait too long.
He didn't wait too long, honestly. And literally, I was there and I was watching Mikel Arteta like shouting at every single player, like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? So I genuinely
You're passing the whole game, like your whole team, especially Lewis Skelly. Like I don't want to dig out. I don't want to dig out a young kid.
I'm actually happy that you've brought this up.
I saw your messages in the AFTV writers chat afterwards.
I'm so happy you brought this up, right? I love Miles Lewis Skelly. I'm one of the biggest champions of Miles Lewis Skelly, right? And so many Arsenal fans are like, why does this kid not play? And the reality is Miles has not been good in the league for a while now. He's been very good in the Champions League, but in the league, he's not really reached the levels of last season. And I think the reality is Ricardo Calafiori has been one of the best left backs in the league. Like
this season, 100%.
Him and Timber are in the top 3 for least dribble pass. Like you can't, and we're talking about a guy. If you watch Calafiori, there's times I'm seeing him on the penalty spot. He's literally inverting all over the place. He's in attacking mid.
His touch map doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, he's an insane,
crazy.
He's an insane player. He scored at Old Trafford, for example. He's such a great player, right? And I'm like, you see why Miles isn't starting, because he needs to bring more to his game. He's still an 18-year-old kid. He's still got loads of time to add these things. But the reality is Hincapié, you look at Hincapié last night, I thought he was great until unfortunately he had to come off with an injury. Like, he was so good getting up the pitch. He has the width. Whereas Miles, because he's maybe a more natural midfielder, he wants to be in midfield more. You know, his crossing, that's something that, again, I say limits him massively, is that we're a team, we thrive on crossing. We love to cross the ball. So when you've got a fullback that's not comfortable with crossing, you see why Arteta says, actually, you're not going to start. Ricardo Calafiori, who's great at crossing, and Hincapié is good at crossing, will start. Like, Miles needs to sharpen up. He needs to sharpen up more, but he's still a kid. But I was frustrated with him.
Can I ask you about Martinelli? I mean, obviously he has apologised since.
So actually, just before you ask this, I don't want to bring this up because Clara Bitsy sent a super chat about this. So Clara Bitsy says, Gary Martinelli is one of the few Arsenal players I really like, but that act by him was absolute disgrace. I don't care about an apology and agree with Neville. Someone should have put him in his place.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he has apologised, whatever, fair. Maybe he didn't realise the severity. Maybe he thought it was time wasting. But I just thought it was really, firstly, I thought it was petulant. I thought it was disgraceful behaviour.
He's so immature.
It's incredibly
immature.
And I also just feel like, as someone who has suffered badly with injuries, like, just that reaction is not okay. How one of the Liverpool players did not go over and spark him out, I do not know. I mean, I think Konate wanted to.
Yeah, we
to
could
be
see
honest.
it from where I was.
But like, again, not only does he throws a ball at him, he should have been off the pitch.
Yeah, he threw a ball at him before anything else even happened.
He threw the ball at him,
went around, and then
he picked him up,
stood over him and went bang, then walked around. Bradley moves about 3 inches, and Martinelli goes, not having any of that, and tries to shove him off.
And also, on top of that, if that was the other way round,
but we've had that already.
It was. Have you seen? So in 2021, have you seen the tweet?
Yeah.
So on 2021, Martinelli went off into the technical area injured throughout play, and then Mikel Arteta was fuming that he didn't go back on the pitch to put down.
Told him to go back on the pitch to go down with cramp. But what I'm saying, if that was an Arsenal player, and it was the other way round,
but we've had this before.
You lot would be outraged.
No, we've had this twice last season. Last season, when Bukayo Saka tore his hamstring on the pitch, Lacroix tried to carry him off the pitch. Saka couldn't even walk. And it was like, remember that. He literally was there on the pitch in agony, and he literally was there cussing him out, saying, "Get off the pitch."
So even more
Saka couldn't even move.
Fine, but
and then when we were bringing that up last season, it was like, just get on with it. When Haaland threw that ball in the back of Gabriel's head, it was, it's a joke, it's banter. Gabriel drops a flipping ball and it's like, oh my God, he's the most evil person. Don't get me wrong, right? To be honest, from a player's perspective, I understand. Because you know what? You're trying to win a game and you personally think someone's faking an injury. It obviously doesn't turn out to be that way. We've already seen twice in a game 2 Liverpool players go down and it wasn't an injury.
Same as Martinelli in the box.
Yeah, we saw Frimpong go down. He went down for like 5 minutes. We get a corner. He's up straight away and he's running towards us. We saw Florian Wirtz go down on a penalty spot. Gabriel tries to lift him up. He literally shoves himself back onto the floor. Like, it happened in a game. You understand why a player would try to do that. Obviously, Conor Bradley ends up getting stretchered off, and I hope it's not, anything horrible.
Yeah, I can't lie, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, like, I hope it's, you never want to wish injury on a player. But I think that outrage on it, like, I've seen my team literally have this happen to them last season. I saw Jesus tear his ACL against Man United, and there was no forgiveness in that. It was like, oh, just get on with it. Like, we've had this three times last season.
I do think it is incredibly petulant.
I'm not saying that it was the right reaction, but I kind of understand it. He wants to try and win the game. He thinks Conor Bradley's rolled himself back onto the pitch to time waste.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get it. Obviously, it doesn't turn out to be that way. But it's more of a thing now where we need to maybe look at it. And it's not just, Liverpool players or Arsenal players. It's a thing that every player in the league does. They waste time. They get on the pitch. Do you know how many times I've played Newcastle? I'll never forget when we played Newcastle and we drew 0-0 and they literally we had the ball in play for 40 minutes, whole 90 minutes. And they did the exact same thing the whole game, but you just have to get on with it.
Yeah.
There's a amount of players that fake head injuries to go down to waste time. Like, it happens again. I'm not saying it's right, but every team does it. Yeah. And I think that outrage over the whole Martinelli thing. Like, I remember literally having people say to me, oh, Haaland's a hard man and it's banter and it's this and that and he's won the league. That's why he can throw the ball at Gabriel's head. Well, actually, it was a car defence and he got away with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actually looked at it and said, actually, yeah, you're really lucky to get away with it. I've seen Saka tear his literal hamstring, couldn't even walk. And I've seen players try to drag him off a pitch. And everyone was just, well, yeah, it's Saka, so he's got to get on with it.
I remember, I think Mark Noble, at one point, I think it was Martinez got injured and Mark Noble literally picked him up and literally moved him like 20 feet off the pitch.
Fam, do you know, the Neville brothers used to kick the rubbish out of Reyes.
I get where you're coming from, Kenya, but at the same time...
I'm not saying that what he did was right. But I think it's actually incredible, like the way so many people getting on their high horse.
But also, it's
almost every other player hasn't done this.
It's like, yes, pushing him off in reaction to thinking he's coming on the pitch. Yeah. But he threw the ball at him before it even happened.
I'm not saying that it was right.
I'm
not saying that it's right.
The sequence of the event.
I'm not saying that it was right.
It's just so dumb from Martinelli.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was right. And I was even sat next to Cecil, and I was saying to Cecil, yo, we're trying to win a game, man's trying to get in a fight. What is that? But I also feel like a lot of people are blown out of proportion. It's already been sorted. The players, one thing I respect that Martinelli did straight after the game, he apologized straight away, puts out a statement saying, I'm incredibly sorry.
Which is fair.
And, I can say as an
Arsenal
fan.
All he can do as well.
I can say as an Arsenal fan, there's not been any moments where I've really questioned Martinelli's like sportsmanship as a player. He's not someone that usually has these moments. It was a bad moment, but you know what? It happens all the time.
Yeah.
We just had to bring it up because it was a big talk.
Also, Clara Bitsy.
I understand there was nothing else in the game.
Bissouma's apparently just been sent off in AFCON.
I also just read that Romero's been given an extra 1-match ban from the Liverpool game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, why though?
Because he didn't go off when he was meant to go off after getting
but
sent off.
So many players
like
do that. How many players argue with a ref when they get sent off?
All the time. Jack Grealish did.
Why we having retrospective
That is a joke.
a month later?
Yeah, that is a bit.
That was ages ago.
Like, come on. I mean, look. At this point, when it rains, like it's storm grey.
Wait, so what's your next game then? Wait, can you serve this against Aston Villa? Although you don't really want it.
Well, one of the games will be served in the FA Cup.
So then,
will be the.
Wait, is it just one game?
Just in one match, additional.